Testing, everybody. We are here on January 24th, 6:19 p.m. Uh, January 24th. This video, I don't think will be as popular at all. What I'm about to show you is pretty boring stuff. That's standard data, but the data is what drives the markets. So over the last few weeks, what I've been paying attention to is all of the experimental AI generated reports that I put up on LinkedIn. I've been hitting a lot of very interesting people. Thanks to everybody who's started following me on LinkedIn for all that. We're hitting the right kind of market that I want to hit. Okay, so let's get into our next bit here. Okay, as you know, I've been watching a lot of the data. So, as an example here, I've been playing a lot with the C sharp stuff, namely from real world data on Rhythmic, which is really the CME futures data. There's a couple of things I wanted to showcase here that I think are important, but probably be insignificant for people. Because everybody wants to watch their bells and whistles coming out of software, whatever in trading. The real secret sauce stuff is in data. So I've been able to, this, what you're looking at here is just like maybe a couple hours worth of data that's been flowing between three big instruments, be it the futures in the futures market for both NQ, which is NASDAQ. We also have ES, which is the S&P 500. We also have CL, which is oil. So what I've done was I wanted to measure how many times what this shows you with a temporary log of all the activity between my software that analyzes the markets with a simple strategy and being able to test the volume and how frequent the data is, how much analysis there is, and how many items here. So I put in a search for this contract, the ESH6, which is the ES S&P 500. And what that tells you, because there's so much volume there, comparative to NASDAQ here, 48,000 uh, occurrences, it tells you it's nearly double. So there's double the opportunity with ES versus NQ. On top of that, I also wanted to measure another one like oil, another strategy. So this shows you can use these type of insights to see where the volume is. Doesn't matter if it's long or short, but in the futures market, which is where all the secret sauce stuff is, which drives the markets, which drives everything out there based upon volume, liquidity, and just general direction on these particular instruments. I'm seeing lots of reports about global liquidity could dry up because of the Bank of Japan with their intervention and the bonds rising. Something maybe in the next week could be having colossal impact on the financial markets in a negative way. I'm also seeing, Bitcoin and Ethereum now is all of a sudden from UBS is being pushed for UBS clientele out of Switzerland. So that must tell you something that we don't know. So these are all the signals that we get to work with. So here's the one thing I want to showcase here. It's very important. These are the buy and sell signals that all the software out there that I've been looking at. I just want to show you how detailed this is. Now, if you're an HFT fund firm, this data is going to be very valuable for you because these are sell and buy signals across both the um, ES and mostly the NQ NASDAQ as well. And there should be some signals in there for oil, which we don't find. Could be the strategy itself. I don't know. The point here is that this is where opportunity lies for the short or long. Okay. And then you can look at this data and say to yourself, well, this is data again for the bigwigs running multi-billion-dollar shops. Each one of these sell and buy sell signals is opportunity for them. But what can mom and pop investor or retail investor do with this? Not a whole lot. So a lot of this high speed stuff, data, and just really what it boils down to is buy and sell opportunities are kind of like more noise than anything else. So we got to come to a point of like, we have to take this at a higher level to see trading opportunities that we can have, we can take advantage of. Because this type of data analysis is really for um, the big wigs in the HFT world, the multi-billion dollar firms that focus on this. So here you can see breaking it right down to the millisecond, like where you have a buy signal for something on the ES with a MACD signal, and a few seconds later it can be a sell. So how do you trade that? Um, so now everything comes down to just a general theme that we look for, and a lot of that can be through this, and more importantly in the news. So I'm looking at news opportunities with some news feeds now to see what I can do with that, to look for, to see if there's opportunities in there to layer this, what I'm showing you, with news, and being able to come out with more intelligent type of trading with it, using obviously AI to develop that kind of system. So I just want to highlight this for people, that this type of data analysis is very deep. And from somebody with a small account, even under $1 million, 10 million, maybe 10 million might be different. But under $1 million, which is most retail, I'm not so sure if this data is very useful for people on this buy and sell signal stuff. There's a lot of signals in here, which results to being noise. So there's other ways to overlay confirmation because there's so much manipulation out of these firms, HFT firms I know of. But we need to ensure that we can be able to differentiate to see what's real trading opportunity and what's just noise and manipulation from these firms, because that's the new way a lot of these firms will take advantage of to confuse the retail market on what's real or what's not real, um, when it comes to real trading opportunities. So I just want to highlight that as something to be aware of, but I'm a step ahead of that, and checking out more of the news now because there's feed services that you can use to confirm this theory with real trading volume, and we're going to figure all that out down the line. Over and out. Thank you for watching.